It's a nice day.
It is a nice day. I have some very bad news for you, children. Your parents have perished in a terrible fire.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another review episode. Today I'll be reviewing a series of unfortunate events. Spoiler warning is in effect as always, so if you haven't seen the show, please do watch the show, but if you're still watching this, thank you for watching. The show is an adaptation of a novel, A Series of Unfortunate Events, written by Daniel Handler and Brett Hellequist, and a reboot of a movie called Lemony Snicket, A Series of Unfortunate Events, starring Emily Browning, Jim Carrey, and Jude Law. As the Baudelaire parents are killed in a house fire, the three siblings are put under the closest kin's care. But due to the incompetence of Mr. Poe, portrayed by K. Todd Freeman, they're first placed under the care of Count Olaf, portrayed by Neil Patrick Harris, who tries to get their fortune. As the Baudelaire goes through multiple caretakers due to Count Olaf's scheme, they learn the truth about their parents and the history of the VFD, also known as the Volunteer Fire Department. Top seasons. Number 3, Season 1. The first season explores the first 4 novels, each of them being split into 2 episodes. As Baudelaire siblings, Klaus, portrayed by Lewis Hines, Violet, portrayed by Melina Westerman, and Sunny, portrayed by Presley Smith, lives are turned upside down when their parents are killed in a fire. They start to learn who their parents really were. As they experience torment from Count Olaf and his acting crew, they also learn to survive throughout their suffering. Number 2, Season 2. Season 2 explores the next 5 novels, each of them being split into 2 episodes. The Baudelaire's adventure continues with them meeting 2 kids at the Austere Academy whose parents suffered the same fate as them, called the Quagmires. When the Quagmires get kidnapped by Count Olaf, the Baudelaires make it their mission to rescue them while trying to uncover the secrets of the VFD. Number 1, Season 3. The third season of the show explores the last 5 books, with most of them being split into 2 episodes. The last novel, The End, being explored with only 1 episode. As the Baudelaires arrive at the VFD headquarters, trying to figure out the sole survivor to the fire, they meet Quigley Quagmire, portrayed by Dylan Kingwell. With this news, they learn someone with the initial JS called a VFD meeting at the Hotel Denouement. As the Baudelaire feels no choice but to work with the Count Olaf, they arrive on the island where they learn who their parents really were and the true reason the VFD was formed. Top 10 episodes. Number 10, The Reptile Room, Part 1, Season 1, Episode 3. After the fiasco with Count Olaf arranging a marriage between Violet and himself, they are brought to Dr. Montgomery, portrayed by Asif Madib, their uncle. There, they discover his passion for reptiles and finally starts to feel safe. But their good luck stops when Count Olaf, disguised, arrives at Dr. Montgomery's house. With this, Count Olaf tries a different tactic to get Baudelaire's fortune and in the end kills Dr. Montgomery, leaving questions for the next episode. Number 9, Penultimate Peril, Part 2, Season 3, Episode 6. After the death of Dewey Denouement, portrayed by Max Greenfield, the Baudelaire finally meets Lemony Snicket, portrayed by Patrick Warburton. Instead of following him, they decide to stay for the trail of Count Olaf, but luck isn't once again on their side when the Baudelaire becomes the subject of the crime. Due to this, Baudelaire decides to go on the run with Count Olaf, leaving the question on how the series will end. Number 8, The Ersatz Elevator, Part 2, Season 2, Episode 4. After the Baudelaires discover Isadora and Duncan, portrayed by Avi Lake and Dylan Kingswell, they must find a way to rescue them. This ends with the Baudelaires back at their old burned-down house and attending an auction to save the Quagmires. As the Baudelaires, the henchperson of indeterminate gender, portrayed by Matty Cardillo Poe, Mr. Poe and the VFD members tries to buy the item. They find out they bought the wrong item and once again is adopted by someone else. Number 7, The Slippery Slope, Part 1, Season 3, Episode 1. After Klaus and Violet survive the death fall Count Olaf and his goons put them through, they start heading for the VFD headquarters. The show then introduces Kit Snicket, portrayed by Alison William, who has the sugar bowl, making her the target from all evil groups. Meanwhile, Klaus and Violet reunite with their former nemesis, Carmelita Spatz, portrayed by Kinatita Turnbull, and a mysterious boy who knows a lot about the VFD. Together, they find their way to the VFD headquarters, burned to a crisp, revealing who survived the fire. Number 6, The Slippery Slope, Part 2, Season 3, Episode 2. As Klaus and Violet learns the person who survived the fire is Quigley Quagmire, they steer the attention to rescuing Sunny. After Quigley learns how their siblings both survive, he decides to assist Klaus and Violet on climbing up a frozen waterfall. When Violet and Quigley find themselves up, they learn Sunny wants to be a spy for them and decides to stay prisoner to Count Olaf. After a rough encounter with Esme, portrayed by Lucy Punch, they negotiate a trade between Esme and Sunny, leading to the Queequeg, leading to the next episode. Number 5, The Penultimate Peril, Part 1, Season 3, Episode 5. After the Baudelaires meet Kit, they are sent on an undercover assignment at the Hotel Denouement. The Baudelaires go undercover as concierges to learn who the mysterious JS is. They must maneuver without being detected by Count Olaf and his allies. Number 4, The Bad Beginning, Part 1, Season 1, Episode 1. The Baudelaire siblings were creative and smart and had a happy life until their parents were killed during a house fire. Due to this, the Baudelaires are placed under their closest kin, but due to the incompetence of Mr. Pope, they are brought to Count Olaf and his acting crew. They become servants to them and are forced into slavery by them until they get their fortune. But there is still hope as they befriend his neighbor, Justice Strauss, portrayed by Joanne Cusack. Number 3, The Austrian Academy, Part 2, Season 2, Episode 2. After the reveal of Count Olaf being the new physical education teacher, Baudelaire seeks the Quagmire's help to reveal the truth. The mission goes awry when Count Olaf starts forcing the Baudelaires into mandatory night run, causing them to have sleep depression and grade down. The Quagmires volunteers to take their spot on the run so the Baudelaires can study for their exam. In the end, the Baudelaires succeed on the exam, but the Quagmires get kidnapped, questioning what's next. Number 2, The Miserable Mill, Part 2, Season 1, Episode 8. As Klaus gets hypnotized and starts causing chaos, Violet finds a way to unhypnotize him. As the Baudelaires devise a plan to expose the hypnotism, they start a riot, allowing Count Olaf to escape. In the end, they learn the truth about what their parents were doing at the mill and were dropped off at the Austrian Academy, wondering what's next. Here are some honorable mentions. Number 1, The Austrian Academy, Part 1, Season 2, Episode 1. As the Baudelaires arrive at the Austrian Academy, they are befriended by Duncan and Isadora. As they learn there is a connection between Baudelaires and the Quagmires, they work together to uncover the secrets of the VFD. Meanwhile, Count Olaf worked tirelessly to get into the Austrian Academy. The show explores the strength and courage a child can have and how they can persevere through many things. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next month for another video.